I have two teenagers, and my son has utilized the Teton Family Youth and Family Services. They've done actually everything from the leadership programs when they were 10, 11, and 12 years old to counseling services through a couple of their counselors. My son has had the occasion to utilize their Adams Canyon facility and also the Vleck House as well. We were going through some pretty tough times. Yeah, so I've lived in Jackson for 16 years. I'm a single parent. I have two teenagers. My son is almost 18. My daughter just turned 15. And I've utilized the Teton Family Youth and Family Services from when they were enrolled in the leadership summer programs, which were awesome for both of them. I did the DEB when they were younger. And I've had the occasion to use the counseling facilities when my son was first having some trouble in school and started to dabble in substances to cope with some depression and anxiety. Utilized the counseling services here. Was also utilized the Adams Canyon residence and the Vleck residence when his behavior started to spiral out of control, and I just didn't feel safe in my home. So I found that the staff members, to be very helpful, to be very knowledgeable, to be very responsive, and very compassionate. They're great listeners. They want to help. They want to find solutions, even though they might be strapped, they really want to help find solutions in our community. So I found them to be super helpful when you are emotionally distraught. When I was emotionally distraught, I found them to be super helpful. And they provided a respite for my son in the Adams Canyon facility where he was able to get away from patterns of behavior that he'd been engaging in the home, and was able to cool off, was able to be in a more sober environment where he got a lot of one-on-one attention from the counselors, who are very real, very open, again, very responsive, and extremely compassionate. And so I found that the Adams Canyon program was super beneficial. It's a 30-day program, and that offers a respite. And then to reintroduce them back into the home was really helpful. My son also, when he was struggling with substances, was able to utilize the Vleck services and come be a resident in the home here for about a week or two, and that was extremely helpful too. Even though at the time the Vleck House was strapped, they were a little down on staff, and but they found a way to make room for my son so that he again could be in a supportive environment, that I could catch a breather, so that we could both get some therapeutic help and information to help us navigate some difficult times. But it's interesting to have been a parent in the gamut from the leadership fun summer thing to when, my son's throwing his fist through a wall and I don't, what am I going to do, And so he's bigger than me. It's hard to instill a consequence with a kid that's bigger than you, and he's mad and pissed off, and kind of out of control. How are you going to deal with that, And I'm concerned about, and I was concerned about, how he was going to be, how he was going to show up, how, if I was safe, if his sister was safe, if they're using and out of control. As a parent and a single mother, when I don't have a lot of financial resources, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to support that process appropriately. And this program allowed that to occur. Their leadership programs start when the kids are 10 years old. And so before my kids were even thinking about being wayward teenagers, they were able to utilize their leadership programs. Ton of fun. Get the kids out into the backcountry here, go hiking, go fishing, go canoeing, go, just really explore the Teton Valley. And so they do it in a supportive environment, and they learn about life, and they're with peers, and they have a great time. But they also are learning how to communicate appropriately in a group environment with their peers. And so you may be there for a week, but they take these skills and can take them for the rest of their life, which I think is really, really invaluable. The professionals here, the staff, the administrative staff, the staff that are actually working, the counselors that are actually working with the kids, they really meet the kids where they are. But the kids come from very, very socioeconomic, places, very different issues around emotional and mental health, and I find the staff very well equipped to meet the children wherever they are, and then also provide information and support for the parents as well. Depression is a long-term issue. Anxiety, even substance use, they're long-term issues that need a lot of support over the long term, but I definitely felt that we got the help we needed to create some openings, to create some opportunities for change. The rest is up to the individuals, you know, my kids and myself, to help continue along that path. I feel like I would highly encourage and invite anyone to support what Teton Family Youth and Family Services is doing in our community. They provide an invaluable resource. They provide support for troubled kids and troubled parents. I have found no greater resource in this community. Many families don't have the socioeconomic resources to pay for therapy, to pay for an intervention, to pay for rehabilitation, and that this community, this very generous community, has an organization like Teton Family Youth and Services to pull from, to utilize their resources at really no charge, is huge. I would say that the people here care. They will move mountains to provide a family the resources that they need. And it's not, that's priceless. That is a gift. That's a gift. When you're in need and when you are so concerned about your child and you don't know black from white, they provide help and answers and support, and they care and they're real, and that's so heartening. That gives you peace of mind, that gives you hope for a future for your kids and for yourself. Hope, I mean, that's an amazing gift.